This is Jordan Smotherman with Strong, Swift, Durable, and I want to talk about the second type of endurance training that we do in our programming, which is what we refer to as building the aerobic base, or oftentimes we'll put in our daily training sessions the objective as a long endurance effort. So whenever we're doing long endurance or aerobic based training, we're trying to increase an athlete's efficiency of moving over ground with easier but longer efforts. So, and we will do this in two ways. We will either have you run an assessment and get an assessment time and then base your effort off of that pace, or we'll do it off of your subjective experience. So, what we're going to do with these is, or with this programming, is maintain a slower pace per mile than your assessment for a longer non-stop effort. So what you'll see in the programming on a session like this is run, or it could be ruck, 7 miles at table pace per mile. It'll say this if we have assessed you. So just like in the movement over ground, we will link a table either in that session or again in the program. You'll find your assessment time, and then it will give you a pace per mile. So on the other one, it gave you the amount of time that you had to run a certain interval distance in. But for this, it's going to tell you how long you're going to, or how quickly we want you to run each mile of that 7 miles. So let's say this is my, let's just say that this is my time right here. I just trace my finger over to the next column. That's my range. And just like in the last example, let's say that my table pace per mile is 7:30 to 7:40. That means I'm going to run each mile of this 7 miles within this range. It doesn't have to be exactly at either one of those. It just needs to be somewhere in that range. I could run 7:40 miles and I'm still getting the training adaptation. This would be for a pretty fast athlete. Most athletes are going to fall into an even slower time. The other way that we'll do this, another way that this could look, is simply this. Run 7 miles at an easy pace. And what we mean by easy pace is about a 3 to a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10 in your perceived effort. So something where you could speak in sentences. If you're running with a buddy, you'd be able to carry on a conversation. It wouldn't be that taxing for you aerobically. For both the paces and this subjective element here that we're giving you, it's based on the type of adaptation that we want to force at the cellular level, which is increasing the amount of mitochondria. That's one side of it, but then also an increase in capillary formation. That's why we're going to have you run for the longer effort. The longer you're at that effort, the more capillaries your body is going to be stimulated to create that are going to penetrate deeper into the muscles, and you're going to be better delivering oxygen to those muscles. A final way that we could do this is simply give you a time. For example, we could say run 60 minutes at an easy pace. The idea is the same, but now we're not so concerned about the distance that you're covering, but rather the length of time. And then we could progress that time, 60 to 70 to 80 to 90 minutes and so on. The longer you're at this intensity, the more of the adaptation that you're going to end up getting on the back end. So this is the second way that we're going to do endurance training. In the first way, with movement over ground, we're increasing the intensity to allow you to maintain a certain speed for a faster speed than what you're able to do on the assessment. And then here in the second part, we're making you go longer than what you were going in the assessment, but at a much easier pace. And in both situations, we're forcing separate but crucial adaptations to increase your ability to move over ground.